Good morning, you beautiful people of the Shield Wall Nation. This is your daily report. Before I can get into my daily report, go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. It'll help us out. Thank you very much. Let's get into this. So I'm going to put the COVID facts below, as we've got quite a bit of information to get into. There has been a executive order by President Donald Trump, signed three memorandums and one executive order to extend pandemic unemployment benefits, to halt evictions, extend student loan repayment suspensions, and defer payroll taxes until the end of the year. Donald Trump promised that to make this tax suspension a permanent cut if reelected in November. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer described the orders as unworkable, weak, far too narrow. While House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, go figure, right? Both of them bashing Trump together. Couldn't see that one coming. Said Trump doesn't know what he is talking about. Does she really know what she's talking about? Can she articulate what she barely even knows that she's talking about? Maybe she should just sit down next to Joe Biden in a nursing home. So you got to know that Donald Trump does not have sole authority to cut taxes or forgive tax debt. So we don't know how he can actually make this permanent cut. He won't be able to do it without Congress help. So there is that. Anyways, it says the far left rioters attempt to burn down a Portland Police Association office in Portland, Oregon on Saturday. Anarchists use glass bottles, paint bombs, fireworks, makeshift spike strips, and large rocks to attack police officers, dispersing the riots. The PPA president, Daryl Turner, warned, if this conduct is allowed to continue, then Portland is lost. If this is allowed to continue, Portland is completely lost. Also over the weekend, a black bloc anti-fascist attempt to march through a neighborhood in Fort Collins, Colorado. According to the video of the residents, can be seen yelling at the anti-fascists to leave the neighborhood before a fight broke out. Residents can be seen pummeling a couple anti-fascists who fall to the ground. In previous weeks, we warned about these possibilities of anti-fascists demonstrating in the suburbs. There's been plenty of warnings. I've said it. Other YouTube channels have said it. So it's kind of happening, right? And it's kind of shows that one of two things, that they shouldn't go there, or they're just going to come back with more people, right? So I guess we will see. I hope they don't, because they're kind of scared. They like fear, and when they have opposition, they run. They turn skirt and run. Okay, let's see. Early Saturday morning, Louis Garrick Fernbaugh, a former Navy SEAL and founder of a training group, Red Frog, allegedly deployed what were described as improvised explosive devices in the vicinity of rioters in Laurelhurst Park in Portland. The video showed an individual confronting Fernbaugh, if I'm mispronouncing your name, sorry, holding a helmet with a mounted night vision, who warned, "I'm not the guy you F with." Fernbaugh had recently claimed that recently claimed to have infiltrated Antifa on social media. So there's been other veterans that have been doing some little counterinsurgency against the far left. Uh, Groups like one group I'm with, very knowledgeable guy, Mike Glover, and his American contingency has promised to mobilize veterans and volunteers to protect civilians from looting. So the Mr. Fernbaugh was lobbing IEDs into the crowd. In fact, there was just homemade flashbangs, and he actually used that to egress, to get the rioters back so he can go, right? But he was still being followed, and he was still checking them. So they weren't blowing up and maiming anyone or injuring anyone. They're just used as a deterrent for him to go. Okay, the far left Cascadia Gun Club and members of the Puget Sound John Brown Gun Club share the U.S. Army and Military Corps Counterinsurgency Manual on social media over the weekend, detailing certain chapters. Let's see. One Puget Sound John Brown Gun Club member stated that understanding the manual was vital towards keeping tabs on local far-right militia who are known to read these manuals for their own purposes and for thinking about how police may leverage similar ideas domestically. So this ain't the first time that the far left has distributed PDF military manuals. But it's not like they had to break into a military base to get them or rob someone. They're online, so. But the thing is that what they failed to understand is militias aren't just far right. They are also right, center, left, and far left. And guess what? Anyone can use those manuals. Even regular old Joe Schmo off the street can just go start researching and then get some of those manuals. So it's not like they're using it against, from what they're saying, they're not using it against far right. They're using it against anyone that opposes them. Far right, right, center, left. But they're trying to make it sound like far right's the problem and then they're the answer. As anyone with 2 brain cells, a good working pair of eyes, good working pair of ears, can understand that's not the case. Antifa and BLM are not for the people. They're for their people. And their small group of people are small, and they're willing to cause violence on the rest of the United States. And you think, well, I support Antifa and BLM. Woohoo, woohoo, go. Guess what? They come knocking on the door, they're kicking your ass. Because guess what? They can and they will. Driving down the street, you come across the mob. If they want to break your window, drag you out, and beat you, they will. They're not for you. They are for them. Remember that. And lastly, but not least, let's see, Kristen Williams, author of Our Enemies in Blue, Police and the Power in America. So she's the author of Our Enemies in Blue, Police and Power in America. Called for the expansion of defunding the police to include abolishing the entire legal apparatus. Williams wrote that the left must not be afraid to embrace radicalism of ending persecutions and punishment, even probation and community-based corrections. Williams concluded that they must stress abolishing in a broader revolutionary project of overthrowing white supremacy and capitalism. So just remember what I said, far left, and then there's left, medium, middle, Right, far right, right? Okay. So, they're far left. Most Democrats in Congress have not lined up behind the efforts to defund the police, and the presidential candidate Joe Biden even on record stating that he would increase police funding. While some cities will experiment with reduced police force, it should be noted that the calls for social justice and radical political change won't end with defunding the police. So, even the left does not support the far left. So if the left does not support the far left, that means the middle won't support the far left. That means the right won't support the far left. And the far right won't support the far left. The far left has isolated them from the rest of the world. Because yes, Antifa's around the world. BLM's around the world. The awakened populace of the world realizes the far left is a disease. Sooner or later, they're going to be considered, both BLM and Antifa are going to be considered terrorists in the United States. Antifa already is, as far as my understanding. Soon there's going to be a worldwide organization of terrorists. Guess what that means? Hunting season. That means you don't wear the garbs of Antifa. Because if you do, you're going to be buried in the garbs of Antifa. Sooner or later, America and the rest of the world are going to get tired of it, and the government is going to slap a hunting sticker on our vehicle, and we're going to go hunting for wabbits. Wascally wabbits. Anyways, I digress. There's a bigger problem than police brutality out there. But police brutality and racism is fractions of any problem in the world. Not saying it doesn't exist. It's a fraction of any problem in the world. Most of it is built up by a victim mentality. But the biggest problem out there right now is the children, right? You've seen this, hashtag save the children, and we got to. Because we have the power to do that. They don't. Those kids don't. Kids are even being born into the child sex slave ring. Born. They don't have a birth certificate. They don't exist in this world except to pleasure perverted, old, rich men and women. Those rich men and women are in the governments of the world, entertainment industry of the world. When I say government, that also includes princes and kings of Middle Eastern countries. That includes not just them, not the rich ones. It includes the sick little pedophiles that we have that go and snatch up kids and take them to their basement and torture them sexually. If we can't voice their problem to save them, then who will? They can't, because we can't hear them scream for help, right? While they're muffled in a basement or taken to some pedophile island. We are the voice. We have to be the voice. If we don't voice anything towards it, we are in an indirect way the problem. So while you see those fools out there burning and looting, and they're not doing it for even their own cause, they're doing it not their own cause for their group, but their own individual cause. They don't care about anyone but themselves. So I implore you to go out there, even use hashtag save the children, but your voice will be heard and will save a child. So, Shield Wall Nation, stay strong, stay resilient, Shield Wall